And how long before it blew up did this decision that you guys made collectively happen?
So what we did was I said, look, let's do the Mutant run for a minute so you can understand these expos and what's going on with that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look back at Mutant, I'm the one training Rich in the Mutant videos and showing him all that physical attributes and all that crazy fucking shit. And Rich really wasn't a fucking fighter. He wasn't a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And Rich was a gym guy, and really didn't deal with, actual real fucking thugs in the street. And that's one of the things that, I was a leader of an organization called the Soul Collectors, and I shot you guys a picture of that. That was an organization that we did personal protection, bodyguard, bill collecting, and we had an elite fucking group of guys that were bad motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
And Rich fucking knew that. And Rich liked the fact that I was a leader of them and that I was around him because it gave him that sense of security. And he knew that I didn't take no fucking bullshit. So after the Mutant thing and learning how all that was working, I was like, okay, this is the workings of it. You're going to use this. They blew him up. They marketed him. They advertised him. They got him more media time and whatnot. And during that time, I had invented a injectable, and I was injecting Rich with this injectable. It's the truth of it. It was a synthol blend is what it was. But Rich didn't look like synthol because nobody has this fucking blend. No one has it. No one has it to this day that I know of. And that's what we were giving Rich. And that's why he was just getting bigger and freakier and looking muscular. And, and Jane and Chanel they don't even know anything about that stuff. No one knows really about that, except that I'm sharing it now. That came from fucking me. I made that shit for him. And when we ended up having our falling out, and I'll get into that, he couldn't get that anymore. And that was another part of the turn of Rich, looking for something else that he was able to work out minimally and still keep his size and continue to grow. Because as you know, when you get involved, with different people and different genres, that your whole lifestyle is going to fucking change.
Sure.
Whether it's for good or for bad.
Yep,
and that's
absolutely.
the truth of it.
So that's pretty much the beginnings of the whole thing, right?
That's the beginning. And, and the bottom line is this. Marcus Timmons, Big Herc, if he didn't continue with me and push towards me about something's there with Rich, and we got to do something, all three of us together, 5% never would have came. It never would have came. So if you want to pinpoint shit and you want to say, oh, who was the inventor of it? Yeah, maybe Marcus didn't come up with 5%, but if Marcus never stayed on my ass and kept telling me, hey, we got to do something with Big Rich, my boy Rich, blah, 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 blah. So that's the truth behind it.
Yeah.
You want to put credit where credit's due. If Marcus never stayed with that, because after we shot the collective, me and Marcus just could have hung out and said, fuck, we didn't have to do nothing with Rich. But Marcus was the driving force of like, look, Mavrick, I know, we can do something with this. And the funny thing is, you watch the old Venice Beach videos, and you look at the old pictures, Rich is looking at me for fucking direction, and he says it right on there. On the video, I'm like, what the fuck are you guys standing right here for? Rich says, because you told us to. Okay, fuck. I was the mind behind that whole fucking thing and putting it together. I was the person who was telling him, dude, you don't need to be Mr. fucking Olympia.
Yeah.
You just need to be charismatic. You need to be engaging. You need to be bigger than life. And you need to inspire people, because we're trying to inspire the masses. We're not trying to worry about fucking Joe Blow body fucking builder, because Joe Blow bodybuilder is 100,000% of fucking nothing in the fucking world. What we want to be is inspire 5% of this whole fucking world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the vision was. That's where the 5% inspiration came from, to inspire not just people in the industry, but this whole fucking world, that, you know what? You can do what you want to do. You can be fucking self-made. You just have to apply yourself in a certain way and not have to worry about whether you're following the rules and the guidelines for what it is to be successful, whatever it is the fuck you're doing.
Make your own fucking rules and make them successful.
Yeah, you make your own fucking rules. You make your own fucking self successful, and you fucking work hard, and you fucking do it. And you don't accept no for an answer.
Whatever happened with Big Herc? Did you guys ever touch base with him again?
The last time I saw Big Herc was at the funeral, at Rich's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the other thing that I have to fucking laugh. It's like, all these fucking coattails that talk about they were the fucking, driving force behind 5%. They promoted and pushed 5%, this and that. Well, why weren't any of those motherfuckers at the funeral?
It's a very good question. Yeah.
They got fucking invited to an after fucking party, a celebration, after the fucking funeral. The funeral was Chanel, Jane, his mom, his dad, me and Marcus, Scott Mendelson, and a few of Rich's real friends that were before 5%. Nobody from 5%, the coattails I call them, were there. It wasn't. I spoke at his gravesite and gave the eulogy, to try to unite the people that were there, because there was tension between the families. I'm not going to lie to you about that.
Yeah.
And just tried to mediate that. And I just laugh at these people that think that they were here's the other thing. If you were such a big driving force for the success of 5%, then that means now, shit, if you were the driving force, you'd be successful in whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me anybody, okay, besides the one guy, Martin Ford, because he's in Europe, that is successful from 5% in their own brand?
Well, we're hoping Rob from Chaos is good.
There you go. There's one, right? Okay. Here, let's make it real, right?
Judging by the expo, I think we're gonna, that could be a good thing. Yeah.
It is gonna be a good thing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
He is doing what 5% was motivating people to do.
Yep.
To succeed. So Rob's not a coattail. Rob has learned from that, took the motivation, is doing it. Here's another thing. People talk a bunch of shit about Chanel. Well, guess what? Chanel learned from it because she started Evolve.
Made her own line, yeah.
She's doing her line. She's doing her thing. Regardless how successful it is, the fact of the matter is she learned from the process of what it fucking took to do that. I don't see nobody else with their own line. Now, Mack Truck went and had his, I don't know Mack Truck. He went and he had 18-wheelers clothing line or something. I think I saw at the 2018 Expo.
Yeah. Okay,
if you're doing that, continue to do that. But he's not doing that now. He's doing his bodybuilding and he's signed with a different company. That is not the 5% mentality. That is now you working for somebody else. That's not you standing on your own 2 feet, obtaining your own thing. So these people that go on to say, they were the driving force behind 5%. Well, if that was the case, then you would have your own shit right now if you were the responsibility for how explosive and how successful that was. Mm-hmm. Nobody was successful for that but one man, and the man that was behind him feeding him, and that's Rich Piana, and that was me giving him insight. Why do you think they talk about this fucking detective and nobody wants to talk to the detective? No, because the fucking detective didn't call any of you motherfuckers because you motherfuckers don't know the truth. The motherfucker called me because he got his text messages between me and Rich. Okay? So that's shit that people don't fucking know about. That's the truth behind it. 5% had about a 2-year run because of everything that I told Rich what we were going to do, how it was going to be marketed, what the game plan was, what the originality was going to be, and he was going to be the mindset and the figure behind it. There will never be another Rich Piana in 5%. 5% don't get it. I don't give a fuck if they get the man from the fucking moon that's 650 pounds that looks like Rich. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
It's not.
Yeah.
You're going to have to develop a whole new game plan. You didn't understand what 5% was about, because if you did, then that business would still be successful. Because Rich didn't know, because Rich got it fed from me what we were doing with that. Mm-hmm. And that's just the truth. So let's rewind back a little bit. So what was the falling out with me and Rich Piana?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you what it was. It was fucking steroids. And that's the God's honest truth. Mm-hmm. You want to fucking hear the truth? That's the fucking truth. Me and Rich were manufacturing steroids. Okay? The whole thing with this new guy, let me even go back even before that. So he gets the investors from Florida, and he's telling me at this time that, dude, they're going to use the marketing part of 5% nutrition, and they're going to ship cocaine in it. I'm like, are you fucking out of your mind right now, bro? Are you really out of your fucking mind, dude? Come on. I don't care how many cops we sell steroids to and how many judges and all this and that. You're talking about something that's a whole fucking different dynamics, Rich. And you just, it ain't going to happen. I'm not going to be a part of that because you're crossing over the fucking line, you know?
Now we have the unions, we have the gambling, and they're the best things to have. But narcotics is a thing of the future. If we don't get a piece of that action, we risk everything we have. I mean, not now, but 10 years from now.
So, what's your answer going to be, Pop?
And Rich just had that money thing on his head that he just wanted more and more and more. So the falling out was there was a guy named Red that was making our gear.
What was the name? It cut off a little.
His name was Red. Young
Red.
kid.
Okay.
Red. And me and Rich were 50-50 partners on the whole thing. Well, you know, same money in, equal money out. Well, Red subsequently fucking, you know, loved to do the party fucking drugs. And that was Rich's connection to him because he would do ecstasy and fucking whatever. He'd stay up all fucking night bottling product and making product. So, which was, you know, beneficial to us. But one day he fucking slipped. He slipped and told me, look, I'm going to need more money. I'm going to have to talk to Rich. We're going to need more money per bottle. And I'm like, hold on, what are you getting paid right now? Well, unfortunately, Rich was telling me one number, and he was paying the other guy nothing. So Rich was dipping on me by, you know, $3 or $4, which he didn't need to do. We were 50-50 partners. And when I found out about that, I fucking lost it, bro. I lost it. I went to his fucking house. Jane was there. Chanel was there. Had him out in the fucking front yard. Telling him, you better call that motherfucker Red right now fucking in front of me, and you better fucking tell me the truth about what the fuck we're paying. Right motherfucking now, Rich, or this is going to be fucking over. So Jane, his bodyguard, coming out like, holy fuck, Mavrick's going to fucking kill somebody, you know? And my wife, Gwen, was there, and that's when the whole fucking explosion came in, and I fucking can't believe you. I can't fucking trust you. I said, you got these fucking people. This is when people started coming in that they wanted to market 5% nutrition and take it to a different level. And it was basically about these fucking dudes, you know, wanting to fucking sell coke. And I'm just like, dude, that's not us. What are you fucking doing? We have everything right here. And up until that time, I was feeding them the whole game plan of how 5% was going to be and what it was going to be. That's why you saw the transition of Rich continue bringing in other athletes, bringing in other people, trying to protect himself, trying to bring more people, because he didn't know where the fuck he was going with it. After that 2 years, it was kind of like, okay, what do we do now? Make more fucking flavors, cookies and cream Kool-Aid or something? You know, I wasn't feeding him no more. But Rich subsequently, because that shit was weighing in the back of his head because he knew that I was the one behind fucking 5%, it fucking aided him. Well, needless to say, when that shit all fell down, I told Gwen, I said, you know what? I need to walk away. I need to change. And that's when, you know, I left, went out to the desert, became the mayor, started doing stuff for the school board, basically finding myself and figuring out what the fuck did I want to do.
When was this now, Mav? What year did this happen, the falling out?
God, this is, well, you figure 7 years ago. So whatever. 13? Yeah, 2013.
Okay.
And if you look at all the videos before that, like I said, all the genres of Welcome to My World, if you fucking watch the show, this is Mavrick's world. My name is Mavrick, and this is my world. It's all in the fucking shit. All those fucking #1 shirts, Love and Kill, all that shit all came from my sayings from the show fucking Mavrick World. Mm-hmm. I drove that whole fucking force behind that because Rich was constantly like, well, dude, no one's going to follow me. Oh, here's the other thing. And then when we started fucking the Instagram, you know, there was so much negativity talking shit about Rich, and Rich was constantly trying to respond to him. I was like, dude,
just let it go.
Stop responding. Who gives a fuck? It's good.
Yeah.
Let him talk shit. Yeah. Because all that shit's going to change. That's just giving you fan face and moving on. Let that shit go. At the beginning, he just couldn't do that until, you know, about 6 months in, he started realizing, look, I got to let this shit go. And then once he did it and just focused on what it was we were trying to do and motivate people, the whole fucking genre changed.
Yeah.
So if anybody was smart enough to do their own math about 5% and really look at the history of everything that was filmed and everything that was done, you know, you could look at it and see who was a driving force behind that, who brought that shit up, who made that. Here's another thing, you know, people really, fucking shit on Chanel about, Rich's lifestyle and this and that. Look, Chanel can't make no decisions if that man wants to fucking snort fucking pre-workout or take a fucking oxy.
Yeah.
What is she gonna fucking really do? But I tell you one thing she did do, worked her ass off, and she supported him many nights, I know, up on that fucking computer, trying to make videos, trying to do this, trying to do that. And you know what? At the end of the day, like I said, ultimately you can talk all the shit you want, but she wasn't a coattail because, look, she fucking at least tried to listen to the motto behind 5% of what it meant and started her own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Rob. Nobody else fucking has. I mean, if you have, enlighten me. All those motherfuckers were coattailing him. That's all it was. That's what I call it. And then trying to claim fame for the success of 5%. Are you fucking kidding me? The success of 5% was Richard Piana.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, and that's why BPI can have 1,000 frontmen. They could have Jay Cutler. They can have whoever, fucking Brandon Curry, whoever they get, and they'll still sell fucking supplements. But Piana was the brand. It wasn't the supplements. It was him that made that 100%. Shit fucking click. When you left with this, how many guys were part of that whole crew? Because they just exploded at one point, and it was like overkill, in my opinion.
100%. And what it was in the beginning was basically just me and Rich, because we didn't want it. We wanted to be careful. We wanted to make it elite. My dad started an organization called the Soul Collectors, and after I took it over, I started to make the organization too big. And he goes, "You know what, son? This is going to be your failure. You're getting too big. There's too many people." I'm like, "Oh, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is a different day and age."
Yep, yeah.
He goes, "No, elite teams are very small at the top, and then they have their men." And I just, was trying to treat everybody as an equal. Everybody was this and that, and I got too big, and it fucking blew up in my face. And what Rich didn't have when I left, Rich didn't have that security of having that motherfucker that if all shit turned to shit, he could turn to. And that's why he reached out to individuals, I think, like Matt Truck, to try to give him some, street credibility. Because all these people, when you're successful at something and somebody comes into your life, regardless what they want to call you, your boy and this and that, the bottom line is they are there because of the circumstance, and having a relationship with somebody before you are something is what's sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Prime example, Sarah Piana. I don't give a fuck. People want to say, "Oh, well, Rich didn't marry Chanel because he didn't love Chanel. He loved Sarah." No, Rich, that's not what it was. Rich got caught up in the fucking game and got involved with what he thought that looked good for 5%.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another one of his downfalls, because he was around people that were not with him aside from Jane. And Jane was only going to have so much impact on him at this point, because the evolution of Rich started to change. He started having people in his life that weren't there in his life in the beginning, and having him make choices for the facade of Rich Piana rather than what's good for Rich Piana.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff happened. Obviously the company was successful. Their booths at the expos were epic. Even when I did the cover of Rich Piana in 2015, I said more popular than Phil Heath, who was at the time the reigning Olympia. And I 100%. Stand by that. Yeah, I totally stand by that then and now. Like you said, the lines, you look at the line at 5% versus the line at Heath's booth, and it was fucking ridiculous. There's no comparison. Yeah.
Because from the beginning, I'm like, dude, we want to appeal to the fucking world, bro. To the masses.
Mm-hmm.
To everybody and anybody that thinks and wants to be something in their life, that they can do it. That's what the 5% was. It wasn't about nutrition. It wasn't about bodybuilding. It was about positive reaffirmation that you could fucking do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And putting that 5% on you was your tag saying, "I'm doing it. I'm going to be that 5%. I'm going to be that successful person. I'm going to do what it fucking takes to get there." And for the masses, that's what it meant to them.
Yeah.
For the coattails, it was something else. For the coattails, it was them riding somebody else's fucking coattail to get notoriety, to get popularity, to get likes, to get whatever. Motherfucker, if you were the driving force behind that motherfucker, you have your own shit.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't, because no one does. Except the ones they talk shit about, you know, Big Rob and fucking Chanel. They got their own shit, motherfucker. Are they the only ones from 5% that fucking listened to understand what it meant?
Yeah.
All you other motherfuckers were coattailing. Besides the loyal fans and stuff that took the mentality of 5% and applied it in their life and figured out what it was they were going to do and willing to put in the work to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But like you're saying, you know, I told Rich, I said, dude, you are bigger than life, and you got to make yourself bigger than fucking life. But as you can see the transition of him with me, 2011 to 2013, 14, whatever, you know, his eyes were right, his skin color was good, he was still big, he looked great, and then you see the transition. You see the Florida transition. You see the transition of, you know, him starting to shoot fucking, this is what he told me, he was shooting fucking plasties in himself.
Wow.
For penis enlargements, you know, because I was so being a dick and being arrogant. No, I'm not saying you that shit, motherfucker. Fuck you. You know what I mean? And I was telling him I didn't want to send it to him for health reasons, but I was just being a fucking dick because I didn't want him to fucking have that edge of not having to fucking work out barely and fucking be big. And that's the trick behind it, you know. May God forgive me for that shit, but I was just being a fucking dick and not sending him that shit. So he was shooting wherever the fuck he had to shoot to do whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So fast forward that to, you know, to the Florida connection and all that stuff with 5% in there. You know, whether he was selling drugs or not, I don't know. You know, I didn't personally see Rich Piana take cocaine and give it to someone's hand and take fucking $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody can fucking speculate and say whatever. And it's the same with the fucking drugs. It's like, I laugh at these guys who talk about, you know, oh, he was doing this and doing that. Motherfucker, all you motherfuckers do shit. You know? If you were a driving force, motherfucker, then don't, you know, I think Matt Truck said, I was telling him to drink instead of fucking do drugs.
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
Fucking really, bro?
Yeah, Oh, I know.
I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah,
come on.
bad advice for bad advice. Yeah.
Yeah, he just didn't have that around us, you know? And this whole thing, when the investigator got a hold of me and just hounded the fuck out of me, sent me emails and calls, you know, because subsequently he got Rich's text messages between us, and that's how he ended up getting my number. And figuring out, like, fuck, this motherfucker's talking to this guy here in California. He, you know, he knows what's up or what's going on.
Now, these texts, were these texts, like, around the time that he passed away, like that, like recent?
Yeah, the last texts from Rich were 2 weeks before he passed, and he was talking to me 2 or 3 months before, and he kept telling me, things are not good, this and that. I'm like, well, you know, talk to me. He just wouldn't tell me what's up, you know. I'm all, what's your environment, dude? The people you're fucking hanging around, you know. And I would laugh and call him coattails and this and that, and we'd laugh about it. But I was still being the Mavrick, the fucking dick, not listening to a real friend that, you know, I could tell was reaching out, and I was being very evasive to it until the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
When he had texted me, and he's like, you know, the oxys are fucking me, this and that. I said, okay. This was like 2 or 3 months of us talking, you know, and him, you know, telling me, you know, this is all because of you, Mavrick, and I can never thank you for this, and, you know, you came up with 5%. You know this 5% whole idea was you. And I said, you know what, I'm not worried about that, bro, because I got bigger things in my life that are going to happen. That's for you. I told you when I moved, take it, keep it, love it, fucking run with it, do fucking whatever. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see the truth, because you look at my old videos, you look at Maverick World, you look at where all those fucking sayings came from. And they came from me. You watch the videos up on the beach. I'm the one fucking dictating them dudes where to stand, what to do. You know, that shit all came from me. Needless to say, 2 weeks before, he had said, you know, the oxys are bad. You know, he's fucking taking them to go to sleep, taking them to fucking wake up, just taking them. And I'm like, look, here's what I'm willing to do for you if you're willing to do it. I said, you can bring Chanel, and you come out here to the ranch, and you stay a month, and you get the fuck away from everything, and you figure out what is the fuck you want to do. And I think, not that he was going to do it, I think in his head, me saying that to him was the resolution to him that, you know what, there's the forgiveness between our falling out.
Yeah.
You know? because I was very evasive before. I was very nonchalant. You know, I was doing storage wars.
I used to make the money with these, and now I make the money with these.
Oh, Mavrick? He's been one of my buyers for a long time. 2.25, 2.5, 3 to there, 3.25, 3. He tattooed his face on a dare. Who does that? He did it.
Hey, I got a new face tattoo for you. Loser.
You're out. I've got 350 here. Don't let you away, Maverick. You got it for 350 big bucks, 350.
We're in the Cern Valley, California. This is my store.
My name is Gwen. This says Mavrick, obviously. You can see it, and I got it like 2 months after we were dating, not even knowing that I was going to be with him for the rest of my life.
Aw,
Yeah. Since I got this on my chest here, then you need to, on that other side of your cheek, put Gwen right here.
Yeah, no more right here. It's done.
He would call and say, "Oh my God, bro, you're on Storage Wars. That's so cool, this and that." Oh, yeah, but I was just being a dick about it.
So you guys kind of remained in contact even after the falling out, even if it wasn't the way it was.
Yeah, intermittently text this
Okay.
and that when there was a reason to text.
Yeah.
You know, Rich was on a high at that point. Rich was fucking picture me rolling, fool. I'm flying everywhere, business class.
Oh, yeah. No, that company
All these
was
people
fucking
hyping
huge.
me up, telling me I'm the fucking bomb. I'm fucking 5%, this and that. But you know what? At the end of the day, when he went to sleep at night, that shit fucking ate him the fuck up.
Hmm.
It ate him the fuck up because he didn't come up with 5%. You know? And I give him all the fucking credit in the world for where 5% is today, because regardless that I came up with it, regardless I was telling him the mentality behind it, he still had to step on stage, put his game face on it, sell that image, and sell that idea.
And he was good at it. He was fucking great at that stuff.
He was great at that.
Yeah.
He did. And he was a guy that fucking barely could talk on film. You watch Basshead and Bikini Girls, was constantly trying to, you know, take after take to get him to get the right fucking take to get out of it, to develop his stage presence, you know? And that's why on the show The Collective, they were like, nah, he just doesn't bring nothing to the table. It's because his film and stage presence wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know, you watch his old films and this and that. Even I was watching something like years ago, you know, they had, you know, bodybuilders, he had him punch this guy in the stomach, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I told people, Rich is not a fighter. The dude lets him punch him in the stomach like 2 times as hard as he can. The guy's still standing there and he weighs like 150 pounds, you know? So I've told people time and time again, Rich is not a fighter. You know, Rich is a gym dude. Rich wants to put the facade of the gangster on. You know, he tattooed a gun on his arm. I'm like, dude, no real motherfucking gangster is tattooing a gun on your arm. You know, what are you trying to say? You know what I mean? Like, come on. Just, you don't need to go to that extreme. But But yeah, the 2 weeks before that, I think that was get down. That was our closure. I mean, not our closure. That was our finally like, okay, I love you too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And obviously, what has happened has happened. That's strictly speculation with everybody else about what happened. People talking about, oh, he probably shot insulin and fell. Motherfucker, let me tell you something. Rich is not going to shoot insulin before he gets a fucking haircut, okay? He shoots insulin before he goes to fucking work out or pump up to get full. You know, it's like, just stupid shit. Or he's snorting this drug and that drug. You know, no one will ever know what the fuck. And Chanel may not even know, because Rich did many things behind people that they had no fucking idea what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they really did. Who knows about the injections I was giving him? Maybe Chanel at some point. I think maybe she had Sauce once or twice doing it. But, I mean, that's the only person who would even know about it besides what we're telling now.
Yeah.
You know? So all these people that think they're 5%, they know Rich Piana, they don't know shit. You want to talk about someone that knows Rich Piana, get a hold of Scott Mendelson. Okay? Get a hold of somebody like that. You want to know the fucking Rich Piana and the fucking story. And even then, they don't know the 5% story, because the 5% story is now fucking being finally told.
Yeah.
And if I can reiterate again, the bottom line at the end of the day, 5% would not exist today without the efforts of Big Herc, Marcus Timmons, continuing to stay on me and believe in Rich that something could become something.
Yeah.
They loved it. They saw us on Venice. We had hot chicks. We had fucking badass dogs. We had cool fucking cars. We had tattoos. We had muscles. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah. Every guy's dream. Yeah. Right.
Be that motherfucker. Shit, come on.
Yeah, of course.
And that's why I continue to drive him. I said, it's not about what you've succeeded in. It's what the image you're perceiving or putting out there for this, because social media was just coming on at the time.
Yeah.
That is going to drive the force or drive the success. I don't care if you call it 2% shit. You know,
if you look good,
if you have the right image,
yeah,
the motherfuckers are going to buy it.
I hear you. Yeah, without a doubt.
Period.
Going back to the investigators thing now, obviously he passed away. So at the time that he passed away, none of this contact stuff happened between you and any of the authorities, right? This is all more recently.
No, this is all recently new. And the guy. So he wanted to know, he was asking about what those guys' relationship was.
Now, why are they, with my law enforcement background, I'm curious to why almost 2 years later, whatever it is now, are they looking, I know cold cases, if they do, they determine this thing to not be a homicide. They determine it to be like a accidental or a natural death because they think it was hard or whatever. I think it was the actual death certificate was stated. So it's not considered a cold case. So why are they looking into it now, this far past it?